Hi, Chris here, and it finally arrived. This is the Cube i9. I've been waiting a long time to get my hands on this model because of a stuff up from the seller on AliExpress. Was meant to send this DHL and said they sent it with Singapore Post, so it took forever to arrive, but it's now finally here, so I'm going to unbox this one and go through it. If you're unaware of this model, the Cube i9 is the first Core M3 Skylake powered tablet out of China, and it's also the first to have a kickstand on it, and has a design that is basically copying the Surface Pro 4. So let's have a look at it. So it seems to be fairly well wrapped up here with padding underneath. I can feel underneath the plastic bag. Now, what happened with this seller that was so cubed? I think they are actually the official, or one of the officially licensed retailers for Cube. I had an arrangement with them to send it DHL, and they took a few days to answer me. I said, okay, where's the DHL shipping? You're going to send it DHL? And they were, yes, going to go DHL. Okay. Later they sent me a message saying, sorry, it's already gone out with Singapore Post. So that was that. Not cool, but AliExpress is like that, and honestly, it's hit and miss lately. I'm trying to avoid AliExpress. If you're familiar with my channel, you see that I mostly stick with Banggood and GearBest.com because they both support PayPal, and it just makes things easier, and you don't get lied to like you do with some of these AliExpress sellers. You also need a lot of patience too when dealing with buying from AliExpress and China in general, even from Banggood and the others. Alrighty, let's see if we can get into this. Hopefully there is no damage, but I can see the box is a little bit beat up. Oh, not good to see. You look at that, there's a big crease there, so hopefully, ooh, squished in as well. I'm hoping this is going to be okay. So it has already been opened on one side. That's normal. They normally do open them up, make sure it's in English. Okay, so I'll start out with the accessories first, the boring part. Okay, so they've included a EU power adapter for US to EU there for me, which is good. So we have a few instruction manuals all squished up and crushed up in there. And that is actually just that's the warranty card, all in Chinese, VIP thing, and our quality control, past 1. So it has past quality control. And the power adapter. So the power adapter is 12 volts, 2.5 amps. And if you want to see what the plug size is, it looks to be, I'm guessing here, okay, 2.5 millimeters, I would say. And you can see there that the positive is in the inside, negative on the outside. For those looking for replacements, there we go. Alright, the tablet itself. Funnily enough, there is no adapters in there. We don't have a Type-C adapter. And of course, no keyboard underneath. That was not part of the deal. They didn't have the keyboard at the time. I do have the keyboard coming in a few days for those interested in seeing what that looks like. Alright, so let's get the tablet out of the plastic wrap there. Okay, good to see that the bezels aren't any larger than what we've seen in the photos and the promotional material. Sometimes that happens. Their promotional material, they do a little bit of Photoshop there and make these bezels just a little bit smaller, which is very annoying. TechTablets are quite bad at doing that, and so is Onda, I think, is another one that does that. Alright, so on the bottom there you can see we have the 5-port pogo pin connector. This is for the type cover style docking keyboard. There is Windows Home button right here on the right hand side. Front-facing 2-megapixel camera that's not actually centered right in the center there. You can see it's just off to one side, probably because of the rear-facing camera on the back there. And we have a look on the right side. We do have a speaker port speaker gap there, so the speaker's there. Move around to the back there, we can see there's a 5 megapixel rear facing camera. That is an autofocus unit, so we will be able to focus onto text and things. There's what looks to be a reset button for the BIOS. It's always good to see. And the volume up and down and power on buttons, of course. The build of it seems quite solid. You can see it's got that typical bluish paint job that Cube have, and so like a matte finish to it. So it shouldn't be picking up any fingerprints. Of course, it's got plastic protectors on it at the moment. Now, from experience, this paint job is very easy to scratch, at least from the i7 stylus and the i7. I've noticed that it is very, very easy, so you have to be a bit careful with that. So here we have the DC in for the power, micro SD card slot, full-size USB 3 port, and the Type-C 3.1 port there, which also acts as, of course, display out for us. So we should be able to use docks in there that contain another USB port and also output HDMI and charge at the same time. I will be checking that out and go through that completely. There will be a video of that up shortly soon when I do that. And then we, of course, have the 3.5mm headphone jack. So there's a screen protector already pre-applied. We can see that. And the kickstand has, according to the press material, 2 positions. So let's have a look. So that's the first position there, giving us quite a steep angle there. And then the second one. So it's not, you don't get the full range like you do on the Surface Pro 4. And to check the weight and thickness of the i9, let's have a look. So it's 991 grams, just shy there of 1 kilo. Let me compare that to the Microsoft Surface Pro 4. This is the i5 model. It's quite a bit lighter there. Now the thickness, let's have a look. There is no real thickest part. I think it all seems to be about the same. So just have a quick look. No, there is no thickest part really. So the thickness is 10.5 millimeters. I'll just have a look now at the size of it compared to my Surface Pro 4. See, they're very similar actually in size. And their Surface Pro 4 looks to be a little smaller, but it is taller. If you see there. Now the Surface Pro 4 also comes with the same configuration, being that of the Core M3 6Y30, 4GB of RAM. So very similar there, but in terms of build, there's just no contest here, because the Surface Pro 4 definitely has a much better finish and less bezels, and of course a super high resolution display compared to the Cube i9 here. So we'll be testing out these speakers on both of them here just to compare them, because the Surface Pro 4 does have one of the better speakers as well. Put them side by side, so because I have a whole range of angles I can angle the Surface Pro 4 at, but there they are side by side. A large difference in price too between these two. Overall, the build seems okay there. We can see here what looked to be a SIM card slot like that of maybe the Surface 3, that you could put a SIM in there maybe for LTE support. There is in fact nothing there. Now there is some plastic blocking that off, but I think that's for future expansion. Possibly they will add maybe an LTE modem or something in there, so you could slot a micro SIM card or your SIM card in there. I'm not sure, but so far that has absolutely no use whatsoever. So there's a closer look at the hinge. Definitely not up to the quality of the likes of you'd see on the Surface Pro 4. I will compare this to my Surface Pro 4 shortly. There's one screw in there and it just seems to be screwed on. But overall, I mean, for the price, this is selling for approximately 500 US. It's not too bad. I mean, the finish is definitely not as premium of that of the Surface. But overall, it looks reasonably good to me. You see some of the corner there doesn't quite line up perfectly. There's a little bit of a gap there in the manufacturing process. But overall, it's not too bad. So let's get the thing powered on. Enough talking already. Hopefully there's some battery life in this. There we go. Now this has a 1200p screen, so it's a 1980 by 1200, 12.2 inches. And it is not fully laminated. So screen brightness at the moment is 40% and a huge amount of reflections due to my lighting and also the screen protector that's on there that I will remove shortly. So that's 100% brightness. That actually seems okay. Now a close look at the screen. A little hard to see there. The gap between the digitizer glass and the IPS panel below seems quite reasonable actually. It's not as bad as I have seen. This is, I'd say, approximately 1 millimeters. That's quite good. It doesn't look that bad. It's not as distracting as some models. Okay. Now have a quick look at the free available storage. This of course is powered by the new Skylake Core M3, which should be in theory faster than the previous Core M 5Y10 and the i7 stylus. So have a look at system and see if Windows is already pre-activated or not. So I need to connect to the internet to activate. Sorry about that, I just fixed this focus. So 4 gigabytes of RAM, 64-bit operating system, and there is the 6Y30 listed there. So the device manager, and we'll have a quick look at this. Network adapters. It is the Realtek, unfortunately not dual band AC wireless, which would be really nice to see at least a dual band on there, but it's only single band, and that is 150 megabits per second, a super common wireless chipset that also handles Bluetooth 4, by the way. So the disk drive, it's a 4C 128 gigabyte SSD. That will be an M2 one, so that'll be 22 by 42 millimeters. And the free available space we have is 106 gigabytes there, which isn't too bad. Now I'll be fully benchmarking the internal storage. I will be testing out the Type-C port. I will run through a lot of games on this, benchmarks and everything like that. So do stay tuned to the playlist where all the videos will be uploaded on this particular model. And there is actually some haptic feedback there. I can just hear the buzz of a motor there, which is a nice little touch. Now the microphone will not pick that up, but it's definitely there. Let's have a quick look at the on-screen keyboard. Doesn't take advantage of the whole size there, just there. Screen brightness is looking a little dull, but let's have a look and see if they have the display saving enabled, power saving enabled here in the Intel panel, which they normally do by default actually. Sorry, wrong menu. Okay, there are no display options there. I think it's due to the screen protector and my lighting there at the moment. Right, I've just dimmed the lighting a little to have a closer look at the screen. So is 1920 by 1200 a deal breaker or not on a 12.2 inch screen? I'm not really sure. It's going to depend on personal preference, I think. Now, being a Surface Pro 4 owner, I can definitely notice the difference in sharpness there. But you're not going to have any problems when it comes to Windows scaling, are you? Because this is actually probably, I think, running just 100% when it comes to the scaling. It's actually running 125%, but you could probably even get away with running 100% there and not have any scaling issues in applications like, for example, Photoshop, CS5 or CS6, programs that don't support Windows 10 or Windows 8.1 scaling properly. Then yeah, that's not actually going to be a problem. You can see the pixels if you look close enough. It certainly is not as good as the Surface Pro 4 screen in brightness as well. This is a lot duller. Now we'll be doing full test. I will test out this and actually measure the brightness of the screen later on in the review. But I mean, it's not too bad. I'll give you a close-up here of the Windows logo so you can see just how much, well, if you can see if any pixels on that. You can see it's a lot jagged edges a little there on the actual Windows logo there. But I personally don't think that it's going to be a deal breaker, the screen resolution. Sure, it would be nice to at least have a much higher resolution than this or a 1440p display, but overall, I think most people will be happy with this. The sharpness, I think, it's personal preference, really, isn't it? Of course, some people must have a Retina display. They must have over 100, 250 ppi. Then obviously this isn't going to be the display for you. Okay, so that is just the initial first unboxing of the tablet. As I said, I will be back with a lot of videos and a lot more information on this, as well as a full written review will be up on TechTablets.com. Thank you so much for watching. See you soon.